You're going to make a T or an L, whatever. I want you to center this card in the middle of the other one. And I'm going to use the card that's on top as my guide or my ruler to draw my dashed lines going straight down. So you just want to have all 4 pieces dashed. So looking at my image, the background is my sky and this mountain here. They're designating a horizon line. So on one of the cards, you're going to write down number 1 and the word background. And I'm going to guesstimate drawing this line of the mountains somewhere going through that dotted line to the other side. And I'm going to indicate for me that the sky is going to be blue and the mountains are going to be light gray. So now on a new sheet, I'm going to write down middle ground. But there's going to be 2 middle grounds, right? So I'm going to label this 2 because this is my next one. And it's going to be these trees closest to the mountains because they're further back. So I want to do the trees and the field on this one. So I'm going to draw, now looking, if I kind of align this, my field probably starts around here and goes down here. Now with tracing paper you can see, but I'm going to indicate just kind of like these are my dark trees. And this is just rough. You can be exact later with your own, but I'm going to say this is dark green. And this is light green for this field. I'm ignoring the water right now because I'm going to come back to that. Field, right? Let me say that again. The water, the lake is in front of the field. So my next middle ground is just going to be blue water. So I'm going to label that 3. And I'm going to draw this. If I look at this here, this is where my light green line is. So I want my water to be below that. And again, the tracing paper will indicate that. But I need this to go all the way across the page. So this is all going to be blue. And this is my middle ground, number 3. No, okay. So the last layer are these trees that are in my foreground. So I'm going to write down foreground. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because this is my 4th one. This is where, okay, so this is going to be all my light green weeds or whatever that is, and then my trees, I'm going to bring them all the way up. But I need a frame here because it's the front, the area that does not have any art. Notice I'm drawing a frame inside, and I'll label it dark green because the closer it is to me, the darker it's going to be. So the last thing I'm going to do, 1 and 4 are going to stay the same width of the cards, but 2 and 3 are my inside pieces. So I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to, this time, use the cutting mat just to use the lines on the cutting mat. And I'm going to just draw a straight line, solid line, sorry, and straight through, because this is where I'm going to need to cut later. So I have that on this side, and you guys are going to get tools next, and this side. So the next thing I'm going to do, if this were my project, I were to go ahead and cut out some light paper in the shape of the mountains and glue it to the back of my blue. But for this activity, we're not going to do that. I want you to start on your second layer, and first things first, very carefully using the ruler, cut those little sides there, keeping your dash line. You're not cutting on the dash, you're cutting on the solid line. And then you're going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to follow my trees, and I'm going to do this quick. I'm not even going to follow my lines. But these are my trees cutting across. And now, because I cut away number 2, I'm just going to label this 2. So that's my second layer. My third layer, I'm going to cut my blue. I'm going to relabel that 3. I'm doing this quick. I want you guys to take your time. So I cut 2, I cut 3, I've got my background here, and then 4 is just the frame and what's in that window. So again, I'm doing mine super quick. This is called a mini activity, so it's graded as a homework grade, so if it doesn't follow your lines, that's okay. And then this is my friend. Tomorrow, we're gonna glue these together, and that's what you want to do.